You ever have a dream? As soon as you wake up, you see an image of what you were dreaming. But then in a matter of seconds, it's gone. And there's just that image. Kind of like that. What is up, you guys? My name's Trevor. This is Read More, and today we're doing short takes on short stories, highlighting two different books. Imaginary Museums by Nicolette Polek. I Know You Know stories by Peter Kispert. Both of these are from 2020, so they're newer books. Thought you'd be excited about, for folks who read a lot. The short story form is obvious. You guys know what I'm talking about. There's no better form for learning how to write and express yourself than reading short stories, as well as just really capturing something about human interaction, imagination, and society, if you will, than the short story. And for those who maybe you're reluctant to pick up short stories, they're not your thing, try them out. I want to start first with Nicolette Polek's Imaginary Museums. These are very short fictions, 2 to 3 pages maximum. Some of them are just 1 page long, really fun and dark, absurdist tales. A lot of variation in the themes here. Like I said before, it's almost like they're these dreams, these waking dreams that you can't quite grasp. As soon as you turn the page, it's sort of gone. But when you're there in the moment with her and her constructions, they're just beautiful. This is a quote from Nicolette Polek in an interview. "The stories in Imaginary Museums are about how I felt alienated from the world, and writing these stories, in addition to doing other things, helped me feel less alienated from the world." A theme that she's always going back to as fiction, writing, and reading as a road to healing, not only for herself, but for others. And curiously, that will link up to our second book today, How I Know You Know. Let's read a sentence here from Imaginary Museums. "Annie was encouraged to take a painting class after divorce. Annie painted scenes of herself in empty Arctic landscapes with long, difficult shadows." So Nicolette Polek is a second-generation Slovakian American. She teaches at the University of Maryland. And curiously, another biographical point I wanted to bring up about Polek is after college, she started attending church. I couldn't figure out from the internet what church, but she found faith in God. And at the end, she actually dedicates her acknowledgments completely to God. So, and at the same time, these don't belong in the Christian fiction section of the bookstore or anything like that. Just something different, I think, in an up-and-coming writer's biography, and something to give a chance. So very striking, juxtaposed, dreamlike images in her writing. Not just prose poetry, not just word jazz. It's like this dislocation of storytelling that kind of opens a third eye. Yeah. In the second book, I Know You Know, very different kind of short story writing here. Really the kind of more classic, straightforward short story writing that tries to arrive at emotional truth. If I can sound a little negative for just a second, I would say, Kispert is much more the classic MFA voice that we're used to sometimes in American writers. Don't let that count against him. This book is all about lies. Lies! lies in the sort of fictions we construct in trying to get others to accept us, to find intimacy, the hunt for closeness and acceptance. But more specifically, too, it would be disingenuous not to make this a part of the conversation. Kispert himself is gay, and all the characters in the stories are gay, and this kind of having to lie just to get through everyday life and try to be who you are. And these may start out as very small lies, and then they snowball for some of the characters in wild ways. I think it's something for at least straight identifying people to think about this kind of twin consciousness for those who grow up in the closet before they come out, or for those who may be out but are living in a straight world and have to constantly maneuver and navigate their way through relationships by just the tiniest of white lies, and at times these lies catch up to people. I wanted to read this bit from an interview with Kispert on NPR, I believe. At the time, I just wanted to write good stories, and I didn't feel like I had really any other stories in me than this one. But I think it was a cathartic experience to get this on the page. In the title story, the narrator, desperate to save a love affair on the rocks, he hires an actor to play a friend he invented in order to seem less lonely. And after his boyfriend catches on to his compulsion for lying, he demands to know if this friend is real. To somewhat comic and devastating effect. Probably the best in all of them. The other thing I wanted to say about this too, and it's not a negative, I did see some reviewers on Amazon and Goodreads saying, oh, this book is repetitive, it's really great, I love the writing style. I think that's all very much deliberate when you read these stories. Some of them very short, again, like our first piece, like only a page or two long. Others much longer, 8 to 12 pages long. But they're repetitive in the sense of, yeah, he's trying to get at something about the lies and arriving at emotional truth. But there's this kind of constant drafting of the same situation and finding out those different outcomes. So I really respect it as a process. I respect it as a whole, that these stories kind of working not just as single pieces, but as one book, and kind of going back to that theme of healing and using fiction, whether it's lies or sort of inventions of the imagination to break through to truth. What? Maybe neither here nor there. That's how it is with short stories, right? So Imaginary Museums by Nicolette Polek. I Know You Know, stories by Peter Kispert. Thanks so much for watching this time, guys. And remember, read more.